Rachel Torres was unlocking her car after practice when she noticed the black envelope tucked under her windshield wiper. No postmark, no return address, just her name written in block letters. Rachel Torres, urgent. Inside was a single photograph and a handwritten note. The photograph showed Rachel making a save during last week's game against Denver, but someone had drawn a red X over her face with what looked like blood. The note was even more disturbing. Miss Torres, we know your schedule, your routes, your weaknesses. Next Sunday's game against Chicago, you will allow exactly 3 goals in the second half. No more, no less. If you refuse, very bad things will happen to people you care about. We'll be watching. The syndicate Rachel's hands trembled as she read it again. This couldn't be real. Who would threaten an NFL player? And why exactly 3 goals? Her phone rang, startling her. Unknown number. Hello? Miss Torres? The voice was electronically disguised, robotic and cold. Did you receive our message? Rachel looked around the parking garage, suddenly feeling watched. Who is this? We are people who make very lucrative bets on very specific outcomes. Your cooperation ensures everyone stays safe. I don't know what you're talking about. Rachel, don't insult our intelligence. You received the photograph. You read the instructions. Sunday's game, 3 goals in the second half. Your choice is simple. Comply or face consequences. What kind of consequences? A chilling laugh. Your boyfriend Carlos drives a blue Honda Civic, license plate XRT4891. Your mother Maria works at St. Mary's Hospital night shift. Your little niece Sophia attends Riverside Elementary. Should I continue? Rachel's blood froze. They knew everything about her family. You're sick. We're businessmen. This is nothing personal, just profitable. 3 goals, second half, Sunday's game, we'll be in touch. The line went dead. Rachel sat in her car, staring at the photograph. The red X over her face looked more menacing now. These people weren't bluffing. They had detailed information about everyone she cared about. But letting 3 goals in on purpose? That would destroy her career, her team's playoff chances, everything she'd worked for. Her phone buzzed with a text message from the same unknown number. In case you think about involving police, we have friends everywhere. Even in law enforcement. Play smart, Rachel. Lives depend on it. Rachel barely slept that night. Every shadow outside her window looked like a threat. Every car sound made her jump. At 6 a.m., she gave up trying to rest and drove to the stadium early. The parking lot was empty except for security. Rachel approached the main entrance where Tony Martinez, the head security guard, was checking cameras. Morning, Rachel. You're here early. Tony, can I ask you something? Have you noticed anyone suspicious around the stadium lately? Anyone watching practices or asking questions about players? Tony frowned. Funny you should ask. Yesterday we had a guy in a black sedan sitting in the parking lot for 3 hours. When I approached his car, he drove off fast. No license plate visible. What did he look like? Mid-40s, dark sunglasses, expensive suit, professional type, but something felt wrong about him. Rachel's stomach tightened. Did you report it? Made a note in the security log. But Rachel, is everything okay? You look worried. Rachel wanted to tell Tony everything, but the syndicate's warning echoed in her mind. We have friends everywhere, even in law enforcement. Just curious. Thanks, Tony. Inside the stadium, Rachel went to Coach Williams' office. If anyone would know about betting on games, it would be him. Coach, hypothetical question. How much money gets bet on NFL games? Coach Williams looked up from his playbook. Millions, Rachel. Sometimes hundreds of millions on a single game. Why do you ask? What about specific prop bets, like exact number of goals scored? Those exist too. Some people bet on very specific outcomes. Which player scores first? How many penalties? Even individual player statistics. Coach Williams studied Rachel's face. This doesn't sound hypothetical. What's going on? Rachel hesitated. Could she trust Coach Williams? He'd always been supportive, but the syndicate's warning about having friends everywhere made her paranoid. Just trying to understand the business side of football. Rachel, in my 20 years of coaching, I've learned to recognize when a player's in trouble. You are clearly in trouble. Whatever it is, you can tell me. Before Rachel could respond, her phone rang. Unknown number again. I need to take this. Rachel stepped into the hallway. Hello? Rachel, we told you not to involve anyone. We saw you talking to security, then your coach. This concerns us. Her blood went cold. They were watching her right now somehow. I was just making conversation. Rachel, let me be clearer about consequences. We don't just threaten, we follow through. Ask Tommy Rodriguez. What about Tommy? Tommy was a linebacker from Miami who'd retired mysteriously mid-season 2 years ago. Tommy refused to cooperate with a similar request. His sister's car had brake failure on the highway. Very tragic accident. Very avoidable accident. Rachel's knees went weak. You killed his sister? Accidents happen when people don't follow simple instructions. Don't let accidents happen to your family, Rachel. The line went dead. Rachel leaned against the wall, fighting nausea. These people had actually murdered someone's sister for not throwing games. This wasn't empty threats. This was a deadly serious criminal organization. Her phone buzzed with a text message containing a photo. Carlos leaving his apartment building that morning. The timestamp showed it was taken just 20 minutes ago. Another message. We're always watching. 3 goals. Second half, Sunday. Rachel spent the day researching Tommy Rodriguez online. 2 years ago, he'd been having the best season of his career, then suddenly announced his retirement, citing personal reasons. His sister Carmen had died in a car accident just 1 week before his retirement announcement. The official police report stated mechanical failure caused the crash, but reading between the lines, Rachel saw the pattern. Tommy had been approached by the syndicate, refused to cooperate, lost his sister, then immediately retired to protect any remaining family members. Rachel felt trapped. If she didn't comply, Carlos, her mother, her niece Sophia could all become targets. But if she did comply, she'd be destroying her integrity and potentially her entire career. That evening, Rachel drove to Carlos's apartment. She needed to warn him without explaining everything. Mi amor, you look terrible. What's wrong? Carlos, I need you to be extra careful for the next few days. Don't take your usual routes to work. Check your car before driving. Be aware of your surroundings. Carlos laughed nervously. Rachel, you're scaring me. Why would I need to be careful? Just trust me. Please. Is someone threatening you? Rachel's silence was answer enough. Rachel, tell me what's happening. We face problems together. I can't involve you. That would make things worse. Worse than what? Rachel, you're clearly terrified. Let me help. Before Rachel could respond, both of their phones buzzed simultaneously with identical text messages. How romantic. Carlos, your girlfriend is being very responsible trying to protect you, but protection only works if she follows our instructions. 3 goals, second half, Sunday. No exceptions. The syndicate. Carlos stared at his phone in shock. What the hell is this? Who has both our numbers? Carlos, pack a bag. Go stay with your cousin in San Antonio. Don't tell anyone where you're going. Rachel, I'm not abandoning you when you're in danger. If you stay, you make me more vulnerable. Please, just go for a few days. Carlos grabbed Rachel's hands. Whatever these people want, we'll find another way. Don't do anything that compromises who you are. What if the alternative is losing everyone I love? Then we call the FBI, witness protection, something. But Rachel, once you give in to criminals, they own you forever. Rachel knew Carlos was right, but fear for his safety overrode everything else. Please, just go to San Antonio. I'll figure this out. Reluctantly, Carlos agreed to leave town temporarily. After he left, Rachel called her mother. Mom, I need you to take a vacation. Visit Aunt Isabella in Phoenix. Mija, I can't take vacation right now. We're short-staffed at the hospital. Mom, please. It's important. Rachel, you sound worried. What's happening? Rachel struggled with how much to reveal. There are some dangerous people who might try to use you to get to me. Just for a few days, please go to Phoenix. Maria Torres had raised Rachel alone and had developed strong instincts about danger. Mija, are you in trouble with criminals? Just please go to Phoenix. Take Sophia with you. Sophia is in school. Mom, please. Her life might depend on it. The desperation in Rachel's voice convinced Maria. Okay, Mija, we'll leave tomorrow morning. That night, Rachel sat alone in her apartment, staring at the photograph with the red X over her face. Everyone she cared about was running scared because of her situation. Sunday's game was in 4 days. Her phone rang at 11 p.m. Unknown number. Hello? Rachel, we're impressed. You're taking smart precautions to protect your family. What do you want now? Just to clarify expectations. Sunday's game against Chicago. The score should be tied 2-2 at halftime. Then, in the second half, you allow exactly 3 goals. Final score, Chicago 5, Dallas 2. That's very specific. We have substantial money wagered on that exact outcome. Odds were excellent because most people would consider it unlikely. How do I know you'll leave my family alone after I do this? Because we're businessmen, Rachel. If we harm cooperative assets, word spreads, and future cooperation becomes impossible. What if I can't control the outcome that precisely? Games are unpredictable. Rachel, you're one of the top goalkeepers in the NFL. You absolutely can control outcomes. Allow easy shots, mistimed dives, convenient fumbles. Very doable for someone of your skills. And if I refuse, then Sunday becomes the day your family learns what happens to people who cross the syndicate. The line went dead. Sunday arrived gray and rainy, perfect weather for Rachel's dark mood. She'd barely slept in 3 days, jumping at every sound, checking her phone constantly for updates from Carlos and her mother. Both were safely out of town, but Rachel knew the syndicate could reach them anywhere if they chose to. In the locker room before the game, Maya Rodriguez noticed Rachel's distraction. "Girl, you look like you've seen ghosts. You ready for Chicago?" "As ready as I'll ever be." "They've got Johnson and Martinez up front, both fast and aggressive, but you've stopped them before." Rachel nodded, thinking about how she was supposed to deliberately fail to stop them today. Jake Morrison, the team captain, gathered everyone for the pre-game speech. "Chicago's fighting for their playoff lives just like us. This game determines everything. I need every single one of you at 100% focus, 100% effort. Leave everything on the field." Rachel felt sick hearing about 100% effort when she was planning to deliberately sabotage the team. Coach Williams pulled her aside. "Rachel, you've been different all week. Whatever's bothering you, put it aside for 3 hours. The team needs you." "I'll do my best, Coach. That's all I ask." As Rachel walked onto the field, she scanned the crowd. Somewhere in those 70,000 people, syndicate members were watching, waiting to see if she'd follow orders. Her phone buzzed with a final message. "Remember, 2-2 at halftime, 5-2 final. Your family's safety depends on precision." The first half went exactly as planned, which made Rachel even more uncomfortable. Chicago scored twice on shots that Rachel could have saved but deliberately mistimed her dives. Dallas also scored twice, keeping the halftime score at 2-2. In the locker room, Coach Williams was frustrated but optimistic. "Defense, you're giving Chicago too many clean looks. Rachel, you're usually better at reading shooters. Second half, I need you sharper." Rachel nodded, knowing she was about to get much worse. The second half began with Chicago immediately pressing for goals. On the first shot, Rachel had a choice: make the save and protect her integrity, or let it go and protect her family. The ball came at medium speed to her left side. An easy save for an NFL goalkeeper. Rachel positioned herself, then at the last second, moved slightly right. The ball hit the net. Chicago 3, Dallas 2. The crowd groaned. Rachel's teammates looked confused. That had been a very savable shot. "Rachel, what was that?" yelled Marcus Williams. "You had that." "Sorry, misjudged the angle." 15 minutes later, another shot. Again, Rachel had to choose between her career and her family's lives. Again, she chose family. Chicago 4, Dallas 2. Coach Williams called timeout. "Rachel, what the hell's going on? Those were routine saves." "I'm trying, Coach." "They're shooting well. They're shooting exactly the same as always." "You're not reacting the same." Jake Morrison joined the discussion. "Coach, maybe we should put Thompson in goal." "No," Rachel said quickly. "If Thompson came in, he might actually save shots and ruin the syndicate's betting outcome." "I'm fine. Just had 2 bad reads." The game resumed. Rachel needed to allow exactly 1 more goal to meet the syndicate's requirements. With 10 minutes left, Chicago had a breakaway. 1-on-1, Rachel versus their striker. This was it, the final goal the syndicate demanded. But as the striker approached, Rachel saw something in the crowd that changed everything. A little girl holding a sign that read, "Rachel is my hero." The girl couldn't have been more than 8 years old, probably Sophia's age. She was wearing Rachel's jersey number and cheering enthusiastically despite the team being down by 2 goals. In that moment, Rachel realized something. If she gave in to the syndicate now, she wouldn't just be betraying her team, she'd be betraying every little girl who looked up to her, every fan who believed in her, every principle she'd ever held. The striker shot hard to the lower left corner. Rachel dove with everything she had. Her fingertips touched the ball, deflecting it wide of the goal. Save! The crowd erupted. Rachel's teammates cheered. The little girl with the sign jumped up and down with excitement, but Rachel's phone was already buzzing with messages from the syndicate. "Big mistake, Rachel. Your family pays the price for your selfishness. You had one job." Rachel ignored the messages and played the remainder of the game with fierce intensity, making 3 more spectacular saves. Dallas even managed to score twice in the final minutes, winning the game 4-3. After the game, Rachel was named player of the match for her second-half heroics. But as she celebrated with teammates, her phone rang. Unknown number. "Hello? Rachel, you made a very costly decision today." "I made the right decision. We'll see if your family agrees when they start having accidents." "Actually," Rachel said, surprising herself with her calm tone, "I don't think you will." "Excuse me? While you were watching me, I had someone watching you. FBI agent Sarah Martinez has been tracking your organization for months. She's very interested in meeting you." This was a bluff. Rachel hadn't contacted any FBI agents, but her tone was convincing enough to create doubt. "You're lying." "Am I?" "Agent Martinez, badge number 4891, based in Dallas field office. She's been investigating illegal betting syndicates tied to organized crime. When I told her about your threats, she was very excited to add sports betting extortion to your charges." A long pause on the line. "Rachel, you're making a mistake." "Maybe, but it's my mistake to make." Rachel hung up. 3 days later, Rachel received a final message from the syndicate. "This isn't over. We have long memories and longer reach. Watch your back, Rachel Torres." But something had changed in Rachel. Standing up to criminals who threatened her family had awakened something fierce and uncompromising in her character. She contacted the real FBI, reported the threats, turned over all the messages and photographs. Agent Sarah Martinez, who actually did exist, launched a full investigation into illegal betting syndicates targeting professional athletes. Within 6 months, the FBI arrested 12 members of the organization that had threatened Rachel. The leader, Vincent Carbone, received a 15-year federal sentence for extortion and conspiracy. Tommy Rodriguez read about the arrests in the news and called Rachel. "I should have been as brave as you," he said. "Maybe Carmen would still be alive." "You were protecting your family the only way you knew how," Rachel replied. "We can't change the past, but we can make sure other players don't face the same choice." Rachel began working with the NFL to establish a confidential reporting system for players facing criminal threats. The Rachel Torres Protocol now provides protection and resources for any athlete targeted by illegal betting operations. Her career continued to flourish. She won Goalkeeper of the Year twice more and led Dallas to 2 playoff appearances. But more importantly, she learned that some victories are worth more than games. Carlos returned from San Antonio with a new understanding of Rachel's strength and courage. They married the following year, and Rachel's mother Maria walked her down the aisle, proud of raising a daughter who chose principle over fear. The little girl with the "Rachel is my hero" sign, whose name turned out to be Emma, continued attending games with her family. 3 years later, when Rachel announced her retirement, Emma was in the front row holding a new sign. "Thank you for teaching me to be brave." At her retirement press conference, Rachel was asked what advice she'd give to young athletes facing pressure. "Never let anyone convince you that compromising your integrity is the safe choice," she said. "The safest thing you can do is be the person you can respect in the mirror every morning. Everything else is just noise." Rachel Torres had faced down professional criminals and emerged not just victorious, but transformed into something more valuable than a great athlete, a woman of unshakable character who proved that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing the right thing despite the fear. The syndicate had wanted to own her through intimidation, but instead, they'd given her the greatest gift possible, the knowledge that her principles were stronger than her fears. And that lesson lasted long after her final save.